from the very first beating, when I was choked to the point of unconsciousness, until the day he pulled the miraculously unloaded gun in my mouth. I knew obedience meant survival. When he placed the gun in my mouth and asked me if I wanted to die, I shrugged. I thought, finally, this pain in this life would be over, and the only one hurt was the one that was responsible for me being in the situation. Me. The trigger was pulled, but I was still alive. For a few moments, I thought I was experiencing death with the ability to still see life, until I felt the blows in my head by the gun. Imagine the world that you once felt safe in, all closed up, trapped by fear, trapped by the fear of living. Your mind is unable to comprehend a million voices in your head. Trust is a word that no longer exists. Shamia Mackenzie was a victim of slavery, a victim of human trafficking, a victim of sex trafficking. Her story is just one of 40.3 million unheard stories of slavery. And in 2005, Shamia Mackenzie was a victim of human trafficking. A college student struggling to pay her tuition, lured into a relationship, promised help, given an opportunity to safely and quickly earn money by dancing. Instead, she was manipulated, threatened, tricked, and forced into prostitution for 2 whole years. Trapped in the cycle and was unable to get out. In 2005, Shamia Mackenzie was a victim of human trafficking. Human trafficking. 2 perfectly ordinary words. Put them together, they form a phrase used to describe a horrific reality. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. Slavery commenced during the 16th century and unfortunately is still happening today. Slavery isn't a thing of the past, but more of a reality for more than 40.3 million people around the world today, and in 1 in 4 being children. They say the invisible will be visible, and the unseen, seen. Slavery today exists, but the shackles and chains are no longer there. However, men, women, and children are trapped, sold, and forced into things and have nowhere to go. Once we begin to start seeing slavery, we begin to see the connections, begin to realize that the stories of innocent young women and girls that are forced to work 12 hours to sew clothes in Bangladesh. It's the little boys forced on a boat to work in the industry of fishing in Ghana. Young girls sold in bars in Thailand, and families in factories, forced to work relentless long hours in India. When we start to hear and see stories of human trafficking, we see connections, begin to realize our clothes, the things that we are wearing, the fish in our kitchen freezers are all made and packaged by the innocent people under the influence of human trafficking. Anyone can be bought and sold. Some can be bought and sold more than once. You can be bought and sold. Human trafficking does not see people as individuals. It sees them as a way to gain money. Slavery thrives on threats. It runs on vulnerability or those that are desperate. People like Shamia Mackenzie are lured by the false promises of a better life. However, when we try to find these traffickers, they vanish. They scatter. They change into the nice lady walking down the street, or her uncle, or his boyfriend, or his girlfriend. They live among us, and so do their victims. That's why human trafficking is so difficult to spot, because there's so much more victims that have normal jobs or normal surroundings. However, there's so much more hidden beneath to what we tend to see. And in 2005, Shami McKenzie was a victim of human trafficking. Today's society, it is up to us and our generation to realize that we are taking things for granted. That there are organizations that can provide help and that are against human trafficking. We can no longer wait. Why aren't we doing anything about it? Giving donations to prevent this from happening? Be educated and be thoughtful. Because Shami McKenzie once said, "This is when I realized that there was no hope. I had to continue this life being obedient to him so my family wouldn't get hurt." As he reminded me this each day. I was alive but was not living. I was a slave. And in 2007, Shami McKenzie escaped and survived human trafficking.